All right, we're back with Can of Wormholes. I'm more than a little intimidated by this game, to be honest. The puzzles are very difficult, so I'm going to do my best, but apologies in advance if I'm bad at it. Okay. Give it a second before I do the check-in site. Yeah, figured. Okay. And then I also have to be part of this. Probably a way for me to make that shape somewhere further away, right? Let's see what the insight says. Am I gonna fail even in the end? I guess the insight is that you need to combine those. Okay, that's pretty doable. And my main struggle with this game so far is not really being able to intuit how to get myself into a specific shape at a specific time. So that's it. Okay. Let's see. Is this easier to do than I'm making it out to be? I think we actually probably need to put that in the further. Okay, I think I understand what I was doing wrong. I think the puzzle is already solved, already failed when it goes in there. I need to make sure I can still push it down. That's already a fail. I think it has to go all the way to the right is kind of what we're getting at here. So I can push it up from here. I guess I can get inside of it and push it up. Let's do that. No, I can't. Because of... That's why I can't. Okay. Let's see. So I can get around. All right. And now it should be possible to do that. Okay. I'm glad I was able to solve one. I've played a few hard puzzle games on stream, but this one just really, I really struggle with it for some reason. Okay. This is a way to make bridges, I assume. How do we get all the way across, though, is the question. It's the insight. I see. Okay. Hi, Bucky. How you doing? I don't know how to line them up that way, though. I don't have any freedom to go around the outside. It's definitely the hardest part of this. The insight example has you pushing them into each other, but maybe that's not necessary. Right, let me just review. Yeah, so it has them lined up like that. Guess the value here is that you can push it over at a weird angle and then still back up on top of this shape, this S shape. But the problem is that shape is wrong, I think. Well, let's see. I can do that to start. I think I'm already dead, but it lets me come at this from an angle. All right, this is maybe more promising. I think I have a way to get around the side there at all. So what is the shape that's letting me get up to modify this? It's this little thing that's sticking out here. Let's restart. So that little thing is there at the beginning. Okay. Similar. What's the exact shape? It's just like bracket? Okay. So like that's the bracket. Then I don't have any way to get it down from there. I guess that's assuming that that's the same exact shape that I have to reproduce here. Oops. Okay, I have an idea. Maybe if I push this further down to start. Still have a problem there. I still can't get up to push that guy down. I think starting by pushing this down partially is probably helpful. That's maybe good. Oops. Still doesn't get me there. Okay, but we're getting closer, I think. I think that means it has to come down the middle, or at least the bottom of one of these tails has to connect to the rectangle at the bottom. That's already a waste. Let's see. Figure out how much the one that's like this guy right here, if its positioning is a problem for me. Let's try doing this maybe is promising. That's not though. That's probably going to be right. Like I think that this shape is going to be here, and then the other shape is going to be below that, and that will let me go down to the center. But then I don't know how to get to this shape to push it where I need it to be, because I don't want it to be on the right side like that. If I do this, I also do this. Is that helpful? Possibly not. Once I push that down twice, there's no more moving it, right? Okay. It's still able to be moved right now. Think about this. Once this is down, it's stuck and I can't move it at all, right? Yeah. So we don't want to move it down. I think once it's right, it's also stuck and I can't move it at all. So the symmetry gets broken up at the top of the screen there. Can't recover that once I push it too far up. Is that helpful? Go up this way. I might still be able to manipulate that because of the little corner up there. Let's see. Oops. Still want this to be like here, right? Okay. I might have this, but this was really hard. Holy shit, okay. Okay. Well, this has to go in there, right? Oops. But I probably need to use it first to get across the other side somehow. How is that possible? Okay. It pushes the worm. So what I probably need to do is I probably need to use this as like a hook. Okay. Actually gonna get one without having to look at the... No, I'm not. Fuck. It needs to be further to the right. Sure, the insight just tells you can use this as a little hook to pull the food pellet. Okay. I don't want it to be there. The only way for me to hook it? I'm actually not sure. What does the insight say? I'm sure it just says use the thing to hook. Yeah. But there's going to be a twist, because there's always a twist in this game. Okay. Hooking it from the other side, maybe? Probably it. Okay. Now I can actually hook it. Okay, I think that's the solution. That wasn't too bad. I guess some of these are easier for me to wrap my head around. puzzle pain in the ass theory works for that puzzle. Okay. Okay. Specific lengths here that I have to work with. I think the idea is, okay, so I have to use all 3 small worms. And I have to use all 4 long worms? I suppose not necessarily. I have to fill every possible hole here. And I can be one of the ones to fill a hole like my worm can. So they provide me with 3 and 4, and I have to figure out which of those I have to use in order to be able to maneuver around. What does the insight say? The insight here that I can't just go in one ear, I have to... That's right. Okay, and then there's ways to maneuver around the holes, I suppose. Okay. So yeah, I can just, I can't go into the hole partially at all. All right. It's really hard to tell where it wants me to start, though. Get some of these out of the way, maybe. Stuck now, right? I can cross over like that. Okay, that maybe changes things. I think having the long ones on the edge might end up being problematic. I don't think I can get them out of there. Yeah. Okay. So don't push them all the way to the edge, I guess. Probably do still start by doing something like this. Let's try starting in the middle this time, just in case it makes a difference. I don't know why it would. Okay, lets me get one of these out of there. I don't know if I can separate most of these little ones out. Let's see. That's death. It's also death. This may be promising. Okay, and each time I do that, it's giving me more freedom at the bottom, so... keep it somewhere where I can still get to it, right? Like now I think I'm stuck. I guess I could still separate those. Okay, so in theory, I can move these over one step. I move them one more, I'm screwed. Oops. Let me try moving this here just so it's slightly out of the way. And I can move these over without them getting stuck. Separating these later might be a pain, but let's see. Now I can't get through there anymore. That's death if I do that. Making sure I'm not missing something. I think I could only put one worm, use one worm as a bridge. I could check, I guess I don't know. Can I get a, no, that counts as a failure. Okay, I was wondering if I can get a completion by putting two shorter worms in there, but that's not the case. Still have an issue with being able to get around there. It's death. Because part of the issue is that these puzzles are frequently so long that you can have made a critical error at the beginning and it might not be clear that that's what you've done, you know? Let's think. Like I could be in an unwinnable game state right now, and it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe it'll be possible to come all the way up and push that back down. Yeah, so like this is only helpful insofar as I can turn back onto civilization, I think. So I think once I put this tall guy down here, it's unrecoverable. Okay, let me rewind again. I guess also once I'm able to cross the bridge one time, that will get me a little bit more freedom to do other stuff. So if I put both of these in the middle with the intent of pushing them back down here later, does that change the calculus maybe? Okay. So I actually can't, I guess I miscounted. I can't use this at all, can I? Because I need to place that and then put the two small guys in there, and then I need to be longer and fill in the long. How many nodes is the long one? It's only 4. Okay. What is the food doing for me? That's definitely what I mean, though, about being possible to get pretty far even though you're fucked. All right, let's start over. What's doing for me? I'm able to cross around, sort of. Not like that. What do I want to do? I need to figure out what my first move is here, so I have very little room to do anything useful along the bottom of this thing. I have to destroy one of the worms for that to be possible. If I cross over here... Wait a minute, is this... What was the insight again? The insight is trying to tell me about ways that I can move along this successfully without triggering a game over from falling into it. Okay. That's really what I should be focusing on. It's not just telling me about pushing the worms into these locations. It doesn't care about that part at all, it seems like. I guess I need to, like, develop a better can of wormholes vision for when something is completely unmovable, because I think those worms at the bottom, until I do something... Okay, I think I get it. I think I have to get the worm food at the top before messing with the worms at the bottom, because that will give me more freedom to move around the outside of the map at the bottom. Okay. It's all about crossing over at breaks. Okay, I think I see. So we eat both of these. Pain in the ass theory says eat one of them and then you have to come back and eat the other one later, but... Keep trying to cross over at breaks. It's easier for me to think about it. Alright, now I can fit on the outside a bit. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Okay, gets me across one way. This may be promising. I can go around here and do that. Okay. I think the big one can just go over the small one completely. That's not actually what we want here. Put it somewhere where I can still move it later, right? Okay. So then... Seeming like pain in the ass theory is going to end up paying off here. How do I get the small one up there? Is it repeating what I've already been doing, which is... Use the... Oh no, it doesn't work because I can't turn this worm. Guess I can push it all the way up here. That's game over. I need to actually eat that worm food. I guess I could try eating the worm food now. That was crazy. Okay. Right, so I really don't have a lot of degrees of freedom here, but I can waste everything except for the long worm. And by waste, I mean turn the short worms into bridges. Why do I care, though? What's the insight? so that I can use a double small bridge like that. Okay. Oops. How do I get a double small bridge? I think this is really all I can do at the very beginning. Make sure I'm not missing something obvious here. That goes left, I just die. What does this bridge do for me? It lets me do that, but like who cares? Seems promising. Okay. Got it. Getting a little bit better. I really need to do a better job of being able to tell when something's just impossible, though. Okay, so my very long boy, I need to eat the food. I wish I knew what this meant. Definitely means something. Could be that it's supposed to be a hint of some kind. Why does that thing help? Or does it only exist to hinder? Whoa, gross. It's so disgusting. Oh, it lets me back up though. Okay. No, I don't know what causes me to start to eat the thing. How long do I need to be exactly? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Currently 3, so I have to eat all 4 pieces of food. Okay. So if any of the food ends up kicked out, it's game over. It's interesting, but also gross. Maybe I can just get it from the other side now. Okay. It's clicking a little bit better. At least maybe there's certain levels that are easier. I think I really struggle if like the answer is just some very weird specific like pattern of left-right moves. I'm not as good at those. Okay. I do this, it's impossible to get out of this now. Appears to be the case, okay. Should confirm that I need to eat all of the pellets. I think I do, but I do. Okay. Once I eat that pellet, I can't get out now. Or one longer, I might be able to. I think it's just a matter of getting to be one longer and then exiting out the other side, I guess. Let's see what gain insight says. Yeah, not super helpful. Okay, so maybe it's a matter of like hooking stuff again, since that seemed to work pretty well before. I think now I can't get it out, right? Yeah. Let's see. Figure out what is the final purpose of this S-shaped worm. I'm not sure. Probably have to restart it. Probably the correct first step. Don't know what else I would do differently. I can try to work this out backwards from the end. So I'm pretty sure what's going to have to happen is that once I get this length, I'm going to have to find a way to get out of here. What the fuck? Okay, well, maybe that's a mechanic that's going to come up some other time. There's no way to land that because there's nowhere for it to go. Let's try to do some pain in the ass theory here. So first thing is we come in here and we can grab that immediately. That seems like that's too easy. So what would I want to do instead? can move it over. Why does that matter? Right, because the inside is just telling me that I can push the food pellets. So I guess the question is, which food pellet is it most crucial for me to push early? Probably that one. I guess there is an asymmetry here that I wasn't appreciating. If I exit out of this side, I can still leave. It's the left side that I can't exit out of. Which means... what exactly? What it probably means is that I have to get as much of the food over onto the right side as I possibly can. That's my guess anyway. Since the right side has an asymmetry that I can take advantage of. And I think we push that down and hook it on the other worm. Okay, this feels promising. I think we already have a problem here, though. As soon as I go over here, I'm stuck forever, unless if I have a way to get out. Let's see. Yeah, I can't go all the way across because my butt gets stuck on the bottom of it. Okay. So I have to be exiting out of the right side, which means that I have to be able to eat all the food from the right side. Oh, I can. Okay. Thought that was going to be harder to do. Okay. All right. Let's see. Oops. How is it possible for me to move this without dying? There's no food. It's the insight. Gross. Okay. Roll a worm. Has to get stuck on a wall for me to be able to roll it at all. Okay. And that's death too. Okay. That's why that annoying wall is there, I see. Huh, why is that different? Oh, it keeps me from dying. I see. Okay. I think my favorite thing about this game is a little insight, because like all the insights are basically another puzzle. It's like an easier puzzle that teaches you something without any words. So you had to make twice as many puzzles in the game to be able to teach you everything. It's really impressive. Okay, so I need to eat both foods eventually. What's the insight? Pain in the ass theory suggests I probably don't want to eat that food until the last possible second. I probably want to use that as a way to roll. I guess I can eat one of these. See if that does it. Hey, Serp, how you doing? It's not what I was expecting to happen. Okay. Push that down. Push that down. I don't think that's what I want to do, though. Basically, need to be able to get on and roll on the thing at the bottom to move it out from where it is. It's the inside again. So maybe I can use the food as a block, we're suggesting. God, that's so fucking disgusting. I really don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable. Move the food. I think maybe the idea is that the food's gonna let me... No, it doesn't. Don't want that to happen. How can I get the bottommost worm stuck against something so that I can foreskin over it? So what we're saying here is that because the tall worm is up against a food pellet, which is up against a wall, that's what enables this to be possible. I can't get the food pellet up against a wall, I don't think. I assume I have to eat one of them just to be able to have more freedom of movement around the edges. It might be a wrong assumption, but let's start from there. Let me try to work out the puzzle in reverse. I have to be able to get to this thing and roll it up. So it has to be up against a rigid dead end of some kind so that I can foreskin over it. What am I doing with my life? No. Outright. Why? What if I need both pieces of food? That would be the king of pain in the ass theory if it's true. Why would that help me though? Gets me to a wall more easily, which is a way to get stuck, which is desirable, I guess. Don't know. Just want to get food to begin with. It sucks because like I could be spending forever on this puzzle if I assume I have to eat a single pellet, I could be stuck. I could be here all day basically. So I want to exhaust not using any of the pellets first, you know? At least until the puzzle's almost over. Guess I just don't see what, if anything, this is accomplishing for me. There's a pretty hard limit to what I can do with the pellets. I can push them down, but only if I roll, right? Okay, so I can push pellets with my butt if I'm foreskinning another worm like this. God, this shit's really hard. Let me try to visualize what the layout would be in order for me to be able to. I need to foreskin this worm at the bottom. The problem is I can't do that because even if I had an extra segment here, it just pushes it, which doesn't help me. And if I move this guy over there, I think I have the exact same problems. Right, it's just going to push it off. I think I might be close, though. It's just a matter. I think this is already too far over. Not like that. It's just gonna push that. It's not ideal. But if this could be over one more, okay, I think I'm close. I think I need the bottom thing to not be over to the right already. I think that's where I fucked up. I think we can still do this though. And then I think this goes like that. And that goes like that. Then we need to push it all the way to the bottom. Okay, so now I think I'm going to. I still didn't. So the ball has to be in front of. Is that what the insight shows me? There should be no momentum transfer is the problem, right? I really thought I had that too. It just pushes it. Maybe it's like if the ball is at the bottom, and this thing is on the side of it. It might still be doable, actually. Well, no, it doesn't have anything to sit on if I do that. Fuck. This feels close, though. Probably not close. How in the world? Okay, so if I start from here, still can't get the thing to do anything. If that happens, it's game over, so I can't go all the way like that. I guess that's a way to get... I need to get the food pellet to be between the snake. Hold on. Like that. So then if this can get me a bridge down there, then maybe this is it. That more appropriate bridge. Oh, the pellet's not far enough down anyway. I don't have a way to get this out of here once I've done that, do I? I think I don't have enough length to do this still. No, it's still momentum transfers even with the pellet on the other side. Maybe that was the same layout that I had before, and the pellet has to be... I'm not sure. Let's continue assuming that I need to have this just to have the extra freedom of movement. So what do we do with this? We do that, that just pushes it and makes a little bridge, which is unhelpful. Oh, I only have a minute left. Wow. I'm gonna have to leave this with my future self, I think. I have no idea. It's a really hard puzzle. Okay, so future Marstead, new stuff you've learned. You can do this disgusting foreskin thing if you push something against a wall, and then you can like roll it around to move stuff. Your objective here is to get this worm at the bottom into one of these two locations and then eat both food pellets and then fit yourself into the other one. So eventually you have to eat both food pellets, but according to the gain insight puzzle, you're probably going to have to use the food pellet as a way to manipulate stuff here to trap one of these pieces so that you can do the foreskin thing. Maybe watch the VOD of what you've already tried, because you've tried a lot of things. I assume you have to eat one pellet to start and that you'll manipulate the other pellet, because otherwise you don't really have any freedom of movement to go around the edges safely if you don't have the extra segment of length. But maybe that assumption is wrong. Don't hesitate to look this one up if you're stuck on it for more than 10 minutes next episode, since there's going to be a long gap between episodes. Thank you to Worshine for sharing this game. Like I said, I really like these gain insight puzzles. It's a really cool idea to have a custom teaching puzzle for every puzzle. It's sort of like the Baba Is You. Sometimes in Baba Is You, they would give you a puzzle that wasn't very difficult, and then another puzzle that was almost identical except for one element, and it was suddenly recontextualized and way harder. That's like this whole game. Every puzzle is structured like that, which is cool. So I'm excited to play more, even though I'm quite bad at it.